Hello, welcome back to the channel. And today, we've got our Bushies.
Way back a year ago.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Trad Tuesdays. And today is a bit of a special one because I've got Bushy's Manx Bitter coming in at 3.8% volume. Now, it has been out of the fridge for about an hour, so I'm hoping it's at an okay temperature. But this was kindly gifted to me from Steve over at Lord's Brewery in Huddersfield. He recently went over to the Isle of Man and he brought back some beers. And when I went over and did the casking of the beer, he gifted me a bottle of this Manx Bitter, and I am over the moon. I am so lucky to be trying this beer. I really am. Slurpy Dave got me the hat when we met in Macclesfield a couple of weeks ago. Slurpy Dave sent me the t-shirt as well, so we're all out on Bushies. We've even got the Bushies beer mat, and I've got a beer enhancer because I need to enhance this beer because it's real ale in a bottle, which is superb. 2 pints of Bushy's Bitter. So, why is it Trad Tuesday? Bushy's Ale of Man is a trad brewery because basically it formed back in 1984 with a brother and sister, Martin and Nicky. And then it was just an off chance. They took over this Chicago bar in Douglas, and basically 2 years later, 1986, decided to set up a microbrewery in the basement of that pub, and then they started to brew Old Bushy Tale. The business boomed, and they purchased a second pub, the Rovers Return. No, not the one on Coronation Street in Manchester, which was formerly the Albion. And then fast forward again to 1990, a new brewery, and it was opened by Michael Jackson. No, not the singer, the beer writer. And basically, it's gone from strength to strength under different brewers. And currently, it's under the brewer, Curly, and he's Neil Convery. And basically, from what I've read, it's really hands-on at the brewery. And that's fantastic. That just shows in the beers, the consistency, it says like he's constantly checking the beer, tasting it. And that to me, that's just fantastic. That's brewing beer. That's craft beer. Craft beer, traditional beer, whatever you want to call it. Everyone who's brews is a craft brewer to me. Bushy's brew range of real ales at Mount Murray Brewery. That's the brewery that opened in 1990. And they also brew an oyster stout, which has oysters in it. That's how they were brewed. And Bushy's still brew an oyster stout like that. Now that is going to be a beer, isn't it? Also, the Isle of Man have their own Pure Beer Act. I think that was changed slightly in 1999. I think O'Cool's was involved in that as well. There's a little bit of a story about that. And I've had on the channel, sent to me from Slurpy Dave, the Milner Tower Ale and also the Bramble Ale, and they were both fantastic. So hence why I'm looking forward to this. I love a bitter. I really do. I was recently at a tap room and I had a pint of cask bitter, and they had other beers on tap, and I tried different beers. And when we came away, I said to Mrs. B, my favourite beer of that visit to that tap room was the best bitter. It's just something about best bitters, ordinary bitters, just something about them I really enjoy, and I hope I'm going to enjoy this. So I'm going to crack this open, I'm going to enhance it, and then we'll come back and I'll have it in a glass. Okay, there you go. So there's a beer in the glass. That looks superb. It really does. Just look at that. That's worked out fantastic. That's real ale in a glass at home. What more can I ask for? On the looks, it does remind me of the Marble Manchester Bitter, and a bit like the Boddington's Bitter in the colour. And yeah, it's light coloured bitter. It looks great. Obviously carbonation is really down there because it's real ale. Shouldn't be fizzy. It isn't fizzy. So let's go back to cheers then. Let's get the aroma. Oh, malt forward. You got biscuits and sweet malts and breadiness there going on. Not picking up on any hops, which you wouldn't do in a bitter anyway. Not on the nose, there might be a slight bit there. And I'm saying slight bit, I'm on about like a grassy, not grassy, more hedgerowy. I've mentioned this loads of times on the channel, I say hedgerow. I mean, it reminds you of when you're walking past a hedge and you just get that, it's hard to explain that aroma, like a hedgerow aroma, which is like a British hop. Smells absolutely fantastic. Okay, let's get into it. Cheers. It's exactly what I'd like in a bitter. It's malt forward in flavour. You're getting this is again it's got this caramel toffee. I'm not talking big caramel toffee. It's there in the background on this nice bready, malty blanket, and then them hops are there, as in you're getting in the mouth slight bitterness, touch bitterness down the side of your tongues, and it brings through what I was saying about this earthy, twiggy hedgerow taste on the tongue, which it just brings that beer together, and then it just dries off with a sweetness as well, and it just wants you to go back in. Did I say 3.8%? This is cracking. It's smooth. It's just a cracking beer from Bushy's. It's so easy drinking. It's going down really, really easy. And it's right. It's the right temperature now as well. I've checked the temperature and it's perfect temperature. It's cellar temp. And you're just getting lots of flavours going on there. There's little, when I say spiky, it's not bland. So it's got spikes of flavours coming through on the palate. And it is unbelievable because you do get that sweet caramel note, that bread, it's like fresh bread. And then you're getting this spikiness which is coming through from them hops, which are just poking through, a bit twiggy, slight grassiness, and then this lovely floral note, and it lingers on the tongue. And that's what it is, a long-lasting flavour on the tongue. This is fantastic. This is brilliant brewing. This, this is great. This is just fantastic. Thank you so much, Steve. You don't know how much I appreciate this, because that is superb. Thank you so much for bringing this all the way back from the Isle of Man for me. And thank you as well to Slurpee for introducing me to Bushy's beers, because, Isle of Man's so lucky to have this brewery. And it's so easy drinking. It's unbelievable. It really, really is. And it looks I don't know if you can see that. It does remind me of it really does remind me of the Manchester bitter in the colour and then malt backbone. The Manchester bitter has got more newer hops, like New World hops. This tastes more British, more English hopped, for sure. I don't know if, I think Slurpee might have had this recently and said something about Fuggles and Golding. And if it did, if this is the same beer, I'm not 100%, I think it might be. Then Boddington's do that, and it looks very similar to how Boddington's looks as well. And it's just got that fantastic flavour. It really is. If you live in the Isle of Man, or if you go over to the Isle of Man, I recommend you grab a Bushy's. I mean, like I said, this is the third one I've had from Bushy's, and they've all been absolutely superb. But go and grab a Bushy's pint, and if you're coming away, grab one of these takeouts, these 2 pints, bring it home and enjoy real ale at home. That is superb. Whew. Okay, thanks for watching. Cheers, and I'll see you on the next one.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating.